Welcome to Listen and Learn English, where you can improve your English at your own pace. Our narrators are all native English speakers, and their words are displayed so that you can read along and practice your English vocabulary. It's a great way to learn, so sit back, relax, and let's get into the video. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Chapter 1. Down the Rabbit Hole. Chapter 2. The Pool of Tears. Alice was getting very tired of sitting next to her sister on the riverbank with nothing to do. She had looked at her sister's book once or twice, but it didn't have any pictures or conversations in it. What's the point of a book, thought Alice, if it doesn't have pictures or people talking? It was a warm day, and Alice was feeling sleepy and bored. She considered making a daisy chain, but was too lazy to pick the flowers. Suddenly, a white rabbit with pink eyes ran right by her. There wasn't anything too strange about that. Rabbits were pretty common in the fields. But when the rabbit pulled a pocket watch out of its vest and looked at it saying, oh dear, I shall be late," that was something different. Alice had never seen a rabbit with clothes, let alone one carrying a watch and talking to itself. Burning with curiosity, she jumped to her feet and ran after it. The rabbit darted into a hole at the base of a hedge, and without thinking, Alice followed it. The rabbit hole suddenly turned into a steep tunnel, and before Alice could stop herself, she was falling down what seemed like a very deep well. Either the well was very deep, or she was falling very slowly, because she had plenty of time to look around as she went down. At first, she tried to grab the sides of the well, but the walls were covered with cupboards, bookshelves, and maps. She even passed a jar labelled orange marmalade, which she grabbed off a shelf. But when she found it empty, she politely put it on another shelf as she continued falling. This is a strange fall, Alice thought to herself. It feels more like floating than falling. I must be going down very far. I wonder if I'll fall through the earth. Maybe I'll pop out the other side like in New Zealand or Australia. She tried to remember what she knew about geography, but it all got mixed up in her head. She imagined walking around with her head upside down and started to giggle. Would people there think I'm upside down? Then she began to worry. What if she kept falling forever? She was about to cry when suddenly, bump! She landed on a pile of sticks and dry leaves. It didn't hurt, it just surprised her. She looked up. The rabbit was still inside, hurrying down a hallway. Without hesitation, Alice ran after him. "Oh, my ears and whiskers! How late it's getting," the rabbit muttered as he turned a corner and disappeared. Alice followed, turning the same corner, and found herself in a long hallway with many locked doors. She tried each one, but they were all locked tight. Just when she was about to give up, she found a small key on a glass table. She hoped it might unlock one of the doors, but to her disappointment, none of the large doors fit the key. Then she noticed a tiny door hidden behind a curtain. To her delight, the key fit. She opened the little door and looked inside. It led to a beautiful garden full of bright flowers and cool fountains. How she longed to go there, but she couldn't even fit her head through the doorway. She returned to the glass table and this time noticed a small bottle with a tag that read, "Drink me." Alice looked carefully to make sure it wasn't marked poison, as she had read stories where bottles were dangerous, but this one seemed safe enough. So she took a sip. It tasted like a mix of cherry tart, pineapple, roast turkey, coffee, and buttered toast. Delicious! She drank it all. Almost instantly, Alice began to shrink. She got smaller and smaller until she was just 10 inches tall. "Perfect," she said, and ran to the tiny door. But she had forgotten the key. It was still on the top of the table, and now she was too small to reach it. She tried climbing the table leg, but couldn't get a grip. She sat down and cried. After a moment, her eyes fell on a small glass box under the table. Inside it was a little cake with the words, "Eat me." "Well," said Alice, "if drinking made me smaller, maybe eating this will make me grow." She took a small bite and waited. Nothing happened, so she ate the whole thing. The changes began right away. Alice felt strange, like she was expanding like a balloon. Her head bumped the ceiling. "Now I'm too big," she cried. She couldn't even see the garden anymore, let alone fit through the door. She began to sob again, her giant tears pooling on the floor like a tiny ocean. Just then, she heard the pattering of feet. The White Rabbit was coming back. He wore white gloves and carried a fan and a pair of white kid gloves in one hand. He was mumbling to himself again, "Oh dear, the Duchess will be furious if I'm late." He seemed so anxious that he dropped the fan and gloves. Alice quickly picked them up. As she fanned herself, she started shrinking again without realizing it, until her chin was nearly at the same level as the table. "That fan must be magical," she said, dropping it in fear. But it was too late. She was small again, even smaller than before. Now the sea of tears she had cried while giant had turned into a huge lake, and she was swimming in it. As she splashed around, she noticed all kinds of creatures in the water with her. Birds, ducks, a dodo, and even a mouse who was paddling nearby. "Hello, mouse," said Alice, trying to be friendly. "Do you know the way out of this lake?" The mouse looked startled and didn't answer right away. Perhaps he doesn't understand English, Alice thought. So she tried again in what she believed was French. "Où est ma chatte?" which meant, "Where is my cat?" This made the mouse leap away in fright. "Oh, I'm so sorry," said Alice. "I didn't mean to scare you. You'd love my cat Dinah. She's great at catching mice." "Oh dear, I did it again." The mouse swam away faster. More and more animals gathered around, all floating and splashing, trying to figure out how they ended up in this strange lake made of tears. Alice felt embarrassed and confused, but also curious. She wondered what might happen next in this strange new world she had fallen into. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please support us by giving us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We release new videos just like this one each week, so join us and listen to learn English.